everyone, it's Cheryl Millett. It's live at 5 on Facebook. And cheers. I don't know, I'll call myself Cheryl M. But the idea is coming on here once a week allows me to share. There's much in the world of health, so I just want to bring forth all the various things that get us questioning more, better understanding more. Since these things around health, many of them, yes, they might be taught in a more formal fashion or a degree or not even. Some of it is probably in the books of past. In fact, I decided to, and I have shown this book before, and so many of you have probably seen it, but it's a 14-page book written by several doctors, and it's so huge, but I'll lift it up. I just decided I was going to flip a page, as they say, open a page on the book here, and see actually what page would come up and what does it have on it. And I'm going to share it with you. It might take a couple of minutes to read it, but I think it's worth it because it's something that I've been sharing, and then I'll kind of go into that too as well. We're just going to see if some people come on board here and get into it. So cheers. Here's one of the most, I don't want to call it nutritious, but in line with longevity. Water, hydration, being properly hydrated is one of the keys to longevity. It'll be interesting to see what is actually in this book about hydration, about water, and we'll see what kind of shakes there and water. But this book is really, I'm going to read it closer to the end. So I've got 3 things I'd like to cover today. Hi, Ira. 3 things I want to cover today. First, you come on board. I'm going to cover this, and this is a challenge. I love to give challenges here, or some people want to call it homework, whatever it is. But you're going to find yourself in situations, and you're going to find yourself in the situation of feeling very happy or very lucky, or you're surrounded by friends. I mean, there's going to be many, many scenarios, but whatever kind of brings you, you feel pretty good, you're feeling energetic, you just have this lighter feeling perhaps, but whatever that is, my challenge to you is to take that pause in that time, whether it's a minute, maybe it's a little bit less, maybe it's a little bit more, and really take note of what that feels like, and almost intentionally bottle up that feeling. Feel what that feels like. Bottle it up as in how you're gonna, you're thinking about it and how your body's feeling about it, and try to bring that feeling in at other times. No reason to bring it in other than you just go, okay, I want to feel that great, joyful, happy kind of feeling. So you're going to identify a situation that's really real. It is real to you, where you just feel very happy. You're glad to be there. Maybe you're with friends, you're playing your favorite game, whatever it is that makes you feel really good. And then pause and take note of what that feels like to you. And at another time, you're going to just go, yeah, I want to bring that feeling. Intend for that feeling to come in without having the reason to feel that way. And just play with that. So pick an opportunity where you are entering in a space, or you're going to be in a space where it makes you feel very happy. Feel what that feels like. Take note of what that feels like. And then, carry on. And then at a completely another time, you don't want to be too distracted with different things, TV, or in a place where people are chatting with you and you don't have it. But just when you have that pause, that space, and you can kind of just bring it in. You may even be on a subway in your car, but you're not too distracted by anything. So that's a challenge. That's homework to find that opportunity. I know during the holiday season, we're getting together with people, and some people don't want to be there, and some people, rather watch their favorite show. It's hilarious. But find that time when and it feels really good. You're glad to be there. You feel happy. You're talking to your best buddy, whatever it is. You'll have that feeling, and just hold that feeling, feel what that feeling is, and then at a completely different time. And this might be a week from now, a month from now, whatever it is. You just kind of got to get that really good feeling and then be able to bring it on as you intend to, as you wish, as free will, choice, and you have the choice to kind of bring on that good feeling that you get, that you've already know what it feels like because you're in a situation. Hope that makes sense. And hi, Ramona. The other thing I want to talk about was dental health, because dental health, it's crazy. You might have studied some things about dental health. You might have come across, you may have your own dental health story. You might be attuned to, certain shows that talked about root canals, and they tune into the mere fact that everything is connected in our body, everything. So our teeth, you got the nervous system, you've got channels that kind of has far more reach than you think. And if anybody's ever had impacted wisdom teeth, which I have, there's like referred pain, and it's very uncomfortable. But when it comes to our teeth, they are living. And remember, once upon a time, I didn't even think they were living, but bone is living, and teeth can grow back, and cavities can disappear. And this is the stuff that I read. And for much of my life, I think we went to the dentist once a year, or in some cases in the past, when you needed to go to the dentist, not every 4 months, not every 6 months. But I started to observe what was happening at the dental checkup, and you'd hear things, okay, don't stick anything sharp in your mouth. And you go, okay. And I'm thinking, what the hey? They're sticking this sharp thing and bleeding, and then I'd feel like a tickle or a sore throat afterwards. And anyway, for years, I just kind of paid attention. And then at sometimes they were very aggressive. It feels like, it's kind of neck exercise, just holding back my neck. But the idea was that some of my teeth actually changed shape, that they were, scraping and scraping. And I noticed that the shape of the tooth changed. So when I left work about 12 years ago, I had one checkup, probably about a year and a half in, and then I haven't had any. I haven't been to the dentist in over 10 years. And the idea was, after I poured over information and took with what I learned in the past, was that if we eat a decent diet, if we have a healthy lifestyle, our enamel, our teeth, our bacteria in our mouth, all of this stuff is going to be healthy enough. So be a little brushing, light brushing, very light with the toothbrush, softest toothbrush you can ever buy, ever get. I'm not even sure if you can get the softest ones even in the regular places where you buy them. But next to getting the softest is just, you don't need to put a lot of pressure. I mean, they're not trying to peel the paint off a can or anything. Light pressure. And I know at times, they're always like, go away and they're teaching you. But when I was getting some information on the teeth, there was actually, in some of the, I want to say African cultures, if I'm correct, they used to use a stick. So we've got to ask the question, how did people take care of their teeth in the past when they didn't have plastic in these fancy toothbrushes? Well, this one person who was on my walk club for many years, was from Ethiopia, and she brought me back, because I get to have all these crazy conversations with the people in the walk every Sunday. She brought me back their toothbrush. This is what they use, and they still use, and it's a certain wood. It's upstairs. I'll bring it down next week, but it's about a small stick like this, and you chew the end of it so that it kind of frays into kind of like a brush. And then you kind of stimulate the gums, like you're kind of pushing in. And you're not even really focusing on the on the teeth. But the idea is to understand that when we think of halitosis, which is, bad breath, and where's that coming from? Mostly the stomach. We think of the bacteria and periodontal disease, which when it gets, all this bacteria, the teeth, the gums, the looseness of the teeth, can't chew. And it's a really big problem. And then there's different scales in there. But the idea around dental health is to really understand it. And I think for most people, they've gone through crazy, I want to say hell, with some of their dental procedures. And I just heard from my sister that somebody that we know well actually put a GoFundMe out there that her teeth are really bad and there's loose teeth. Yeah, that's periodontal disease plus. And they want to put in these bunch of implants, $45,000. And I think that's crazy, crazy. So it's not cheap to get dental work. And the idea is that our dental is unique to everyone. But water, hydration and being only the drink and sipping on water and swishing your mouth, not eating as much sugar or candy that would help with the bacteria. So a decent diet. But when it comes to choices around looking after your teeth, I think you've got to know that you don't have to go to the dentist every 4 months or every 6 months or a year. End of story. Should you get out your mercury fillings? Yeah, you should get out your mercury fillings and put in next best thing or something that there's holistic dentists out there. But I have learned that there's still different procedures with holistic dentists. And one of them's a friend. I could probably call him up and ask him any questions. And we relate very well because he's been using the seal oil. And the seal oil, I have to tell you this, the raw seal oil, mammalian omega-3, omega-6, and other things in there as well. If held under the tongue afterwards, I tell everybody, swish. Swish this oil around the mouth, and it's, I guess, antibacterial. But the idea is it's not oxidized oil. And this one guy, he's a very, very good friend, and he was close here because he just moved back from Australia. But the idea is he was doing this, and when he went to the dentist in the 70 years it was the best checkup ever. So after a few months of swishing this oil around the mouth, he had never had that most amazing dental work. So there are certain things we've got to be aware of that really help. So things that are antimicrobial, antibacterial, but nothing crazy. As simple as this was just an unoxidized, raw kind of, a natural omega-3 or whatever, omega-6 kind of oil that we would take internally for our brain. But it does more than that and very natural. But that's kind of the idea, just to understand a little bit of dental, teeth health there. Now, if you're in predicaments where you have a root canal, one of the things that I'm getting from, and time again, from different people, you can look up Dr. Weston. He was a dentist, and he wrote a lot about it, but I don't find as much of it on the web, but he's got his big books. Weston A. Price, that's the name. Dr. Weston A. Price, and in there he talks specifically about the root canal. Again, he's not the only one, but the idea is under every root canal there is an infection. And this infection under the root canal, and maybe some other dental work, is causing a lot of stress. It's like me poking you all the time. It's like a constant irritation with this bacteria being there. And it may circulate within the body and the nervous system, affect the nerves, but it also could just come up into the mouth all the time, and you're swallowing it, which is one of the things they say about a lot of bacteria within the mouth, the periodontal disease, you swallowing is not good for the heart health, right? So I can't say enough, there is absolutely going to be a connection between all of our body, our teeth and our rest of our body. End of story. Can you do 7 steps to do your dental work every day? Well, that's up to you. I think the simple thing is flossing once a day, brushing a couple times a day, is more than plenty. And I keep experimenting. And when I don't brush, crazy, when I don't brush for a couple of days, I feel the difference within the mouth. And I think it's very healthy to brush and more than 5 seconds, and not like you're trying to, peel the paint off your teeth. But that's just a healthy, simple routine. And floss. Now with floss, I remember I was so dead set. I'm going to floss twice a day. I'm going to make the dental hygienist proud of me. And I went all in it with and I actually cut my gums. So I go in 4 months later, and she's showing me with her little mirror in the back where you kind of got that angle there where I was flossing, and I was actually made a cut. It wasn't bleeding or anything, but I guess over that time you could see where the floss, because she put it in and she had the mirror and she was showing me. So I went, so we can floss our teeth, but floss our teeth very gently, kind of, tug it in through the teeth, because our teeth are, unlike Aboriginal, our teeth are so much tighter and closer together than the lovely wide open jaw mouth of a lot of the Aboriginals. They have the spaces in between their teeth, whereas we don't. That's a key difference. And you can see that, and as I've been paying attention to more and more, there's many things that cause that. You can imagine the straw, the soother, the sucking on the finger in his babies. And I've met somebody, I was working at Loblaws, and she showed me a picture of her and her sister. She sucked her thumb until she was, I don't know how old. I'm going to say 7, 8, 9. And her whole face was shaped in so differently. She was going in to get an operation, what were they going to do? I don't know, break her jaw. You've heard of this, and just kind of open up in the space. And boy, did she ever look different. And so we have to be mindful that stress and tension and just, we kind of can cause, and especially at an early age, we have this sucking, and we're just, the overbite and stuff like that they talk. And that's coming through those kind of things. So I avoided straws wherever I can, but couldn't really. The children wanted straws, but I explain it to them. So the idea here with dental health is just to know you have more options. You do want to take care of your teeth as much as possible, and if you have work to get, know your options, the healthier options. Can't tell you how many people were told that they need a root canal, and after I explained to them a few things and a number of things, they decided not to. They decided to pull the tooth. And so when you think about pulling the tooth, some people will think, that's it, got a gap in my tooth, that ain't going to be good. But no, it will, just like you take a chunk out of your skin, things work its way together into support, and that's what will happen in the mouth. Things will work in and they'll come, maybe there'll be more room in the teeth there, and the body will kind of grow in and cover. There won't be any huge opening. Hopefully your body is healing properly. So we got to look at that as well. So that's enough about the dental. There's actually quite a bit there, but I want you to know that you're supported and you're not really the only person out there that has all this dental work that might be driving you crazy. It might be causing health problems, to tell you the truth, serious health problems. And I quite often do it with my clients anyway. If they've got a lot of work in their teeth that's been done, root canals and so forth, I'll get out the dental chart. You can find it. And it will tell you which teeth are tied to which nerves in the body. And this one client, with the tooth where she had the root canal and she got it 2 years previously, it tied into a pain in her upper chest. Like it was just right here. And she'd had it ever since she got the dental work done. So we can, we're playing with our body when we're poking and prodding and cutting and drilling and all of that stuff. It's still trauma there. Hello everyone, Ted and Andrew and Fred and Annette and Althea, if that's how you say your name. Now I want to read I'm going to read from this Health and Longevity. For you have not, I'll just briefly talk about it. It's a book from 1909 that I found in a doctor's home. It was a content sale. And this Health and Longevity is written by several doctors. So there's, I believe there's actually 15 books in this one 14-page book, but the pages are thicker or something because it looks like it's much bigger and it's very, very heavy. So I'm just going to show you briefly what this book is, but I decided to do a flip. Let's just see what page I've got. And I decided to do that just before coming on here, just to see what I get. And this is something I'm going to tell you briefly that so often in the last decade or more, I would say to people, there's this research, there's that research, and there's this, and the doctors know this and that. And I kept saying, well, I wonder what they don't know yet. Do you think they know everything? Oh, they don't. No, how can they get this body is crazy put together. So this is from a doctor. It's got a chart of a body, but it's titled, I love the choice of words that they use here, The Internal Wonders of the Human Body Revealed. That's the title. The subtitle is The Human Body and Its Marvelous Perfection. A wonderful structure of the body. The human body is the highest form of animal life. I'm going to put my pinhole glasses on because if I've ever told you, I know it seems like it's bright here, but I actually have to turn much of the light off in order so that the camera, I don't look like I'm very white. But so if I put my pinhole glasses on, it's easier to train what light there is here and here, so it'll be easier, faster for me to read. The human body is the highest form of animal life. It is full of beautiful proportions and divinely symmetrical in shape, form, mold, and outline. We look with honest pride and glowing admiration upon the many accomplishments that man has achieved in the world around us. We see his skill displayed in the various arts and sciences, and we look with awe upon the projects of his intellect and reason, the realization of which is but a small question of time. We boast of our ships, our steamboats, and our steam cars, and we are justly proud of our bridges, our viaducts, and the progress of our engineering skill. We grow enthusiastic over our telegraphs, our telephones, our electric lights, and we feel a degree of national pride in the achievements and successes of Edison, the wizard of Menlo Park. But where, let us ask, in the whole range of events, the acquirements of the arts, the accomplishments of the mechanics, the achievements of architecture, and the attainments of engineering, or the successes and promises of electrical sciences, can we find such another structure as the human body, that curious yet perfect world of wonders? So really cool. There's a bit more to read here, of course. And it does go on to say the man is the most complex body, and it has lovely diagrams here. But the book is just, it's just too much to carry, to hold up. I'll try and, it's almost like pages, you flip them over. Oh boy, I'm going to get a workout if I keep doing this, holding this book up. But there we go. You can see there's this thing, and it actually flips and flips and flips and goes deeper and deeper into the body. Really cool. So in 1909, they knew enough about the body. Let's just see if I can get this done. This is, you can see the digestive system and I've got to do opposite. So all in color, the bone and everything. And it's just a constant flip and pull and yeah, more things. And then you see intestines and everything. So what a wonderful book. I'm going to keep having fun reading some of it myself, and then at times just flip a page and come on and read it. But the key thing here is for all us to be mindful that science is limited when it comes to the human body. It's very much the reason why research, they actually have to use humans to actually do the research. In some cases, when you get the results back, really there's anything that shows 100% that I have found. It's usually 2%, 5%, 10%, maybe 20%, but nothing that's definitive. And especially if it's around the pharmaceutical drugs, which we already know have in every case their own side effects. And I spoke to a doctor's wife at the social after the walk club, and I said a few things briefly. She goes, yeah, my friend, she's not on any meds, and I know she's in her 70s and she doesn't want to do any meds. But she has friends where they will go on one drug and then they need another drug to that, and then you got high blood pressure, and then they go on another drug to that. Next thing you know, it's like a half a dozen medications that people are on, and this is the truth. So if any of you have that predicament, or if any of you have been on that road, you're going to know. And if any of you are kind of understanding this road, it doesn't matter which meds you kind of go on. All meds have side effects, and this is where I would absolutely go and look or ask for what are the side effects for your medication. And then you'll start to put together maybe some of the symptoms you've had in the past and why you've actually had to been given more medication, whether that's help to sleep, things like that. But the idea is really understanding the body is a miracle, and that research really does not have a good handle on it. And when I wrote my book and I didn't really know everything I was going to write, the one thing that kind of popped in my head is talk about what the body's made of and go into the elemental chart. Then from there, I went into genetics and poured into the Genome Project, which if I asked all of you here if you've heard of the Genome Project, who here has heard of the Genome Project? I think most of the people I've ever asked, I've asked probably about 100 people over this last year if they've heard about the Genome Project, where they're going to discover in your genes the very things that, cause cancer or cause some of these things, and then or to help find the cure. But I don't think people realize what's going on with that Genome Project. When I asked them a couple of other questions, I asked them, is it completed? And most people will say, I don't know, I don't think so, I haven't heard anything. And other things I will ask, one of the other questions is, well, if it's completed, have you heard of any of the results? But most people don't get past the first question with a yes of hearing about the Genome Project. But it was completed. It was completed not quite 20 years ago. And it was completed under budget. And if I just had to put it a little bit out there, they thought they were going to get about 100,000, let's say, protein sequences. Really what they got was more of what a mouse has, what an insect has. So they were blown away by what they found was nowhere near as complex as they thought it would be made out to be. And it's funny, one of the geneticists that was being interviewed for one of the videos, they were asking, okay, so when can we expect, and like we all are very hopeful and want the cure for disease. There's a magic pill out there. They're just going to be able to do something and things are going to go away. Well, I can tell you that ain't going to work. It's just not going to work. So you best take the, jump on the train of starting to take care of your own health. Make that choice because you can. And so the idea is, this geneticist was talking in this interview, or was talking to them, and he goes, well, I'll tell you what, this guy was a bald guy, so he was bald, and he pointed to his head and he says, if you think I have found or discovered anything worthwhile, and I would be bald still. And he was making a joke, but at the end of the day, what it really tells all of us is that they're not close. They're not close. And quite frankly, I really don't want anybody playing with my genes. But I think that I've read enough now to really know that the healing potential is really within. It comes from within. It's there from within. And stem cells, I remember studying stem cells I'll just end it at this, but this was fascinating because you hear about certain animals, if they're, I can't remember which lizard or whatever it is, but you broke an arm off or something, it'll grow back an arm. And over the years, I've heard different things about these stem cells, and surely there is this play, and still is this play somewhat, where they do stem cell, inject, take some out and do that. But this was fascinating. This was fascinating. This is a really big nugget, actually, is that the cells in our body, when needed, will morph into stem cells. So you can't see them, just if you're okay and stuff like that, you can't really see them. But the body can turn certain cells into stem cells, like I have mentioned here, talking to a biochemist, where we think the elemental table is black and white. And after studying a bit about this whole mineral thing, and I asked this supposedly a very brilliant biochemist, I spent time around the globe, but I had met him through the seal oil. Anyway, we had lots of connections, and I asked him, I stopped, I said, okay, Brian, answer me this question, yes or no. I know you didn't do the research. Most likely you haven't done the research yourself, because he was really big on that. If he didn't do the research himself, he really didn't want to comment. I said, well, do you think it's possible that calcium or magnesium can turn into calcium? This was some doctor that did this project, and of course they weren't too happy with him doing that. But that's huge, people. When we have cells in our body, and they can, when need be, to turn into, with the right environment. This is a whole conversation separately, but within the right environment, the right health, and you understand that, will actually turn cells into stem cells to create that healing and regeneration. Now, I do understand that if you block, let's say you did cut your finger off, don't want that for anybody, let's say you did, and there is something about the oxygen and the air getting to the wound, next to not bleeding, to actually help it work better. So the bandaging and wrapping and doing all of that doesn't help. It's get the air at it. I've heard that. You stop the bleeding, the bleeding stops if you put pressure on it, and then it's air, keep it clean, air. So today we have, hi Vern, hi Laurent and Debbie. So we've talked about the good feelings and learning to discover a moment in time where you have these great feelings because you're happy to be with friends, happy to be with family, and it's this time you're excited about, and you take this feeling that you have and you pause and you pay attention to what that feeling is feeling. And it's almost like you're going to box it, a little drawer in your mind somewhere. And then at some time in the future, you're going to intend to actually bring that good feeling up. There's no reason for that good feeling to come in, but that good, pleasant, feel good, happy feeling, you're just going to practice to kind of bring it in no matter where you are. Preferably someplace where it's not too challenging and you hate. Just your day-to-day stuff. You could be having breakfast or something like that. Make it easy on yourself. The other thing I talked about is dental health. And the dental health is an extremely important part of our body. Obviously, from the standpoint of eating, it's very, our teeth have a huge impact being able to chew our food. And so we want to take our dental health seriously enough, but you have to be educated enough to know. So you can go back and watch that. That's very, very important piece. And the other part was reading from Health and Longevity. One of the doctors speaking about how we really just get all gung-ho on all of these inventions, be it electricity, and they talked about steam generated cars. I mean, this book is 110 years old, and how crazy we get over that. Really then where the marvelous the marvelous mechanics and electrical charge, that's our vibrational self, is the human body trumps all of that stuff that we admire and look at and appreciate. And really, here's a machine, the human body above all other animals, is marvelous and great, awesome, and can heal and can do so much on its own, given the right environment. So you need to kind of understand what that is, and it's a whole other book. It's a book in itself, but that's all I wanted to come on and talk about today, those 3 things. I know we're getting on to past 30 minutes here, but I want to wish everybody a happy holiday, a Merry Christmas or Joyeux Noël, happy Hanukkah, Merry Holidays, all those fun things, however you celebrate. And I know I'm getting together with family, and I guess everybody there will be family. So take care, everyone. Best of health for the holiday seasons. Remember a couple of live at 5s ago, where make sure you get in your rest and relaxation, some downtime, no matter how busy you are. Shut down the brain, find some time to R&R, so you're not stressing out the body, and you can go through this holiday season without catching a cold or catching the flu or anything like that. But it's possible, it's doable, people, it's really doable. So take care, everyone. Until next week, live at 5 every Monday, and then these go on to YouTube. I'll try to remember to put the YouTube link, but it's easy, just Google my name and you'll see it. And that's where all the history of these live at 5s on Facebook are, and hopefully you can find some things. But it's good to share. I like to share and share with each other and support each other, and we'll go from there. Just keep on sharing. Take care, everyone. Bye for now. Let me know if there's ever any questions. Post them here. Post private message me too as well if need be, or any certain topics. Anything. Ask anything. I'm up to it all. It's not really about knowing all the details of it or the science of it or the research of it. There's really some more simplistic way of looking at things, but definitely bringing some things like the what's going on with fibromyalgia. It's a very simple thing. What's going on with MS? What's going on with diabetes? Some of these things are actually quite straightforward and quite simple. So ask away, and if you're just coming on board, just watch the video after it's up again. Best of health. Happy holidays, everyone. Bye for now.